happening, everybody? What's happening, everybody? Thursday, November 14th, 2024. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning into Loud Majority Live. Wow, a lot has happened since we last spoke. A lot's happened since we last spoke. The earth broke. The earth broke with not one, but at least two Donald Trump appointments. Moving forward, we're going to talk about those because, oh boy, are all the right people pissed off about this? Are all the right people upset about this? We're going to be talking about the appointment of course, Tulsi Gabbard and Congressman Matt Gaetz. Wow, sometimes things come across the wire on Twitter, and you don't even believe it. You don't believe it when you see it. But Attorney General Matt Gaetz, it's got a nice ring to it. Got a very nice ring to it. Also, I'm going to say a sentence that actually doesn't taste very good coming out of my mouth, but I agree with AOC on something. I'm not thrilled about this, but look, be fair and say it when things are right, when she's right. And AOC was absolutely right about something. Whoopi Goldberg says that you need to avoid your family. That you need to avoid your family if they vote differently than you. And I'm going to read you a headline. I'm going to read you a headline that I never thought I would ever, a sentence that I never thought I'd say out loud. A sentence that I never thought I would utter in public. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because why the hell not? Because why the hell not? Before we get started, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. Let's get this live chat up onto the screen. Jeanette, how are you? Marissa, how are you? Angel Fit, how are you? Natalie, what's going on? Yeah, I said it. I'm going to admit that AOC is right about something. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it from the rooftops. Doesn't feel good to say, but, alas. Things are what they are. What can we do? Also, in the second half of the show today, we're going to be joined by one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, the real politically savvy. She is a regional field director for the Trump 2024 campaign down in the Peach State. We're going to be talking about how to get involved, how to get active in your local parties, and what it took to flip the state of Georgia. One of my big Twitter follow. Make sure you guys give her a follow over there. What up, Callie? How are you? Let's see. Kimberly from Delaware. What's happening? What is happening? Bob from Florida. What's going on? What's going on, guys? As always, once again, if you're watching on Facebook, do me a favor, hit that @ button and then click followers or highlights, whichever one is coming up. And make sure you guys are following the page over rumble.com/LFATV. That's rumble.com/LFATV. So let's get into the gigantic, humongous news of the day. Matt Gaetz, Attorney General. Wow. The political earth was shaking yesterday when the congressman from Florida's 1st Congressional District was named the appointee to become the Attorney General. And look, I say this, and look, full transparency here, guys. I try to be honest with all of you. It's very hard for me to be objective about certain elected officials. I've said it before. I've said it about Congressman Gaetz. I've said it about Lee Zeldin. I consider these people friends. Corey Mills is among that list as well. Look, Congressman Gaetz is a solid guy, an America First fighter, no bullshit kind of guy, and look, I consider him a friend. And I couldn't be happier for him and his lovely wife, Ginger. They absolutely deserve it. Matt has been a true fighter for the America First movement, moving in the past and in the future. We've certainly played plenty of his clips on the show. That goes pretty much without saying. So, as I said, all the right people are incredibly upset about it. As soon as the news broke yesterday about Matt Gaetz being appointed the Attorney General candidate, I immediately put on MSNBC, and it was the funniest place on planet Earth. Nicole Wallace looked like she was about to have a panic attack the whole time as she sees the party she once knew crumble around her because she sucks. And so does her entire ilk. One more person very upset about some of these picks is the guy who not only has decided to bomb every third world village on the planet, but has decided to allow a ferret to take up residency on his upper lip. And of course, that would be John Bolton.
Well, I thought it was the worst cabinet level appointment in history until they then heard about the Matt Gaetz appointment. Really, my reaction was that this is like the legend of Caligula, the Roman emperor, who wanted to nominate his horse as a Roman consul. You had to be a Roman senator at the time to be a consul, and it was intended to show how demeaned and degraded the Roman Senate had become. So now we're going to see whether the American Senate can stand up and reject two people who are totally unqualified, unfit professionally, and really lacking in the immoral characteristics, the character that you need to hold these jobs. I think this vote should be 100-0 against both of them.
Well, that's why you're on CNN, guy, because nobody cares what you have to say. The neocons are out and the populists are in. All across the board. And that doesn't stop with Congressman Gaetz. Of course, that is included in former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, who has been appointed the head of the Department of National Intelligence, which some of you may know. I don't know if you know this or not. Tulsi Gabbard, a combat veteran of this country and a former member of Congress, was once put on a terrorist watch list. She will now head the department that put her on that list. That's awesome. That's great. That would be like me being appointed the head of the Southern Poverty Law Center. But the deep state is dying. The world is changing. I mean, look, I thought that President Trump was going to make some solid picks here. I really did. I was fully confident that he was going to make solid picks with his appointment, but I could have never dreamed of some of these. I mean, look, if you're out there telling me that you knew that Pete Hegseth was going to be appointed the Secretary of Defense, you're a liar. No one saw that coming. Rose Diane says, will Gaetz have a hard time in the Senate confirmation? Yes, he will. Luckily, there's a thing called recess appointments. This is an archaic bit of the Senate parliamentary rules where if the Senate is not in session in a transition period, the President of the United States can appoint some members of his cabinet. Now, I want to make it very clear, and I'm going to have full transparency here with you guys. These rules were put into place when people were traveling from Georgia to Washington on horseback and couldn't make it in time for the Senate confirmation. Absolutely agree. That is definitely what this is there for. But nobody saw it fit to change it. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I have long said, that anyone who puts up a fight against President Trump's appointees in the Senate, you need to listen to this. And I got to be honest here, if I'm being totally honest. I'm talking to Lindsey Graham. Like, I'm just speaking to Lindsey Graham. If you put up a fight against some of these appointees, I will raise up an army against you. I will travel far and wide. I will do whatever is necessary to beat you in a primary. Scott Presler will register voters, and Elon Musk will pay for it. I promise you this. This will be, and I try not to use this word on this show very often because I know it's not a nice word, but this will be the ultimate fuck around and find out. We will come in from all corners of the country. I don't care if I've got a campaign in Bangor, Maine with the Mooses against Susan Collins, or if I've got to fight off salmon fishermen in Anchorage, Alaska against Lisa Murkowski. I don't care. I will go there. We will all go there. We will shack up in Airbnbs and we will run primaries against each and every one of these spineless sons of bitches. I don't care. F-A-F-O. I'm done. Donald Trump has been sent to Washington, D.C. with a mandate, with a popular vote victory. With a resounding electoral college victory. So if you're Susan Collins and you can't find a way to get to the end of a sentence, or you're Lisa Murkowski, a person who, I genuinely mean this, no one knows who you are, you will lose. You will be beaten. And just know you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. You've got nobody to blame but your own ego. Look, I don't know what Matt Gaetz is going to do first. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. It's going to be hilarious. As I said, all the wrong people are incredibly upset about this. And that's good. Every talking head on CNN, very upset. Some of the Republican establishment, very upset. And they need to know something. And I mean this genuinely. None of this had to happen. This happened because you spent your career lying to us. You spent your career telling us something was going to happen, begging us for money, and then doing the exact opposite. That's why this happened. Because of spineless sellouts like Kevin McCarthy. Hey, is anybody out there having a bad day today? Chat, let me know. Are you having a bad day today? It could always be worse. You could be Kevin McCarthy. Hey, Kevin. Right there, Pally. Right there. The Young Guns. Pow. You guys have heard me talk about that book before. When him and Eric Cantor and Paul Ryan, they were going to come in and they were going to change. They were going to change the way Washington, D.C. operated. And they did. They blew out the deficit by like 4 times. Then Paul Ryan ran over to Fox News, ended up sucking. Nobody knows where Eric Cantor is anymore. And Kevin McCarthy got booted by the guy who's about to be the new Attorney General. It turns out all you had to do was keep your word. And none of this would have happened. Absolutely none of it would have happened. One more person we're going to hear from in a minute, who is the new head of a committee in the Senate, would be Rand Paul. Before we get to that, guys, Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, head on over to mypillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's mypillow.com, promo code LOUD, for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's mypillow.com, promo code LOUD. What's up, guys? Say hello to everybody. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys keep it locked in here. We're going to be joined by my friend, the real politically savvy, the Queen of Georgia, who helped us win that state, about what Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff have in store for them now that Georgia is back in the firmly Republican camp. Giddy up, let's go. Roberto Bernetta in the Facebook chat is right. Let the man work. Get out of his way. Get out of his way. Many of the Democrats out there want to talk about how, it's all about unity now and we got to come together. No. You see, you had that chance, and then you tried to throw Trump in prison. Hello, Siobhan. We got Liam's mom in the chat. Very good stuff. We got Liam's mom in the Facebook chat. Good stuff. Guys, once again, make sure if you're watching on Facebook, hit that @ button, hit followers so that all of your friends will see the show as well. Also, once again, for the local audience, let me pop this up here. This Saturday, 2 days from now, we're going to be having our Long Island takeover starting at the Ronkonkoma train station at 12 noon, heading out at 2 p.m., heading all the way to the Douglaston Shopping Center in Queens. Come on down and say hello. Some people are having some... Oh, no. That's the wrong button. Boom, there it is. Some people have some fun. Yeah, if you guys really want to see some funny stuff, you should go check out this one woman on Twitter. Her name is JoJo from Jers. There is not enough Prozac in the world to settle down this one. Not enough Prozac in the world. Alan, how are you? Nancy, how are you? Kenny from Long Island, what is happening? So, Rand Paul vows to expose all of the COVID cover-up stuff now that he is in his new chairman position. Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day who lost his business in Staten Island, on Staten Island. I just said in Staten Island. Not good. I apologize. On Staten Island during the COVID hysteria. And I want to know whose fault that was. And I want to see people held accountable. Senator Rand Paul, this from the Daily Fetch, has promised to uncover the truth about the COVID-19 pandemic as he prepares to take over his chairmanship of the Upper Chamber's Homeland Security Committee. I choose to chair this committee over another because I believe that for the health of our republic, Congress must stand up once again for its constitutional role. The committee's mission of oversight and investigations is critical to Congress reasserting itself. I think we are on the cusp of really the beginning of uncovering what happened during COVID. Paul said his new position under Donald Trump will help him uncover what happened during COVID. We're going to hopefully have a friendlier administration and we're hoping that there will be a friendlier person at the Department of Health and Human Services, and we're hoping there will be a friendly at the National Institute of Health. Paging Bobby Kennedy. That announcement should be coming any day now. Any minute now, any hour now, who the hell knows? Donald Trump is dropping these things like wildfire out there, just bing, 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 all day long. In order to, look, imagine being a liberal in the news media this week. I was excited about Tom Homan. I was excited about Elise Stefanik. I was excited about Elise Zeldin. I was excited about Tulsi Gabbard. And then he dropped Matt Gaetz. And I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of lost my mind a little bit. I freaked out a little bit. I audibly yelled. Some of you may have heard me yelling from wherever it is you may be in the country. We are so back. We are so back. And I can't wait for Rand Paul to figure out exactly what all is happening with this COVID hysteria and who is actually to blame, how much did Fauci rob, and what's going to be done about it. What's going to be done about it. Guys, in just 1 second, we are going to be joined by the person who won the state of Georgia for Donald Trump and the Republicans. Before we get to that, guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for our newsletter. Check out the shop. We've got a whole gaggle of good stuff over here. Christmas stuff. Oh, and make sure, these are the exclusive shirts, okay? These are the exclusive shirts that you're only going to get on the Loud Majority site. Can you see that on the... Oh, let me pull this down a little bit. I can't pull it down anymore. Damn, let me fix this. I don't want the quick view. I want the regular view. It is the We the People Are Back t-shirts. Are you ready for this? Obviously, you guys know for a long time we've had the We the People Are Pissed Off t-shirts. But now we've got We the People Are Back. Check these out. We've got them in pretty much every color under the sun. Make sure you guys go and pick them up today. We the People Are Back. With, of course, the Stay Loud insignia on the back, just in case some idiots want to steal my design like they did last time. You guys know exactly who I'm talking about. So head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. Giddy up. Let's go. Guys, we will be right back. Alrighty, guys, we are back. I am super excited to reintroduce you guys to our next guest. She's been on the show before. She is the regional field director for the Trump 2024 campaign down in the great state of Georgia. Guys, say hello to my friend, the real politically savvy Tiffany Savage. Tiff, how are you?
Hi, so glad to be back. Oh my gosh, you're the first podcast since election.
Oh,
so it's
I'm honored.
I'm a little rusty, Kev.
Nah, you got this. We're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna talk about appointments because apparently the earth has shook with the appointment of many people that Donald Trump has put in. But we're going to get to that in a little bit because I want to talk about Georgia because I got to be honest with you. You know, I was as a blue stater up here in New York, I was hoping Georgia would go red. A lot of people weren't sure with the shenanigans and two Democratic senators. Somehow, I'm not sure how that happened, but I want to talk to you about the big win down in the Peach State. How did you guys do it? Did you know all along? How were you feeling going in?
Yeah, so I of course I knew all along because there was a groundswell of support for President Trump everywhere. I also noticed even as early as the first debate with Joe Biden, that's when we first started seeing that the busloads being shipped in, right? But there was no excitement. There was maybe in Atlanta now 2 billboards, no signs, no support, no nothing. And then everyone just came out in droves for President Trump, even that first debate. And as the campaign kept going, we were a juggernaut of support, and it was coming from everywhere. We had field offices in very strategic locations with that around the state, and each director, gave it their absolute all to reach out to different voter blocks, to reach out to those low propensity voters, to really get that excitement for President Trump, for America First, for down ballot races, and knocking doors, making phone calls, holding events with surrogates when they would come into town. But everybody from both sides of the aisle to the middle you know, they have had it. They had it with the Biden administration. There was no Kamala administration, no policies for them to be able to look at and compare. And a lot of voters within the Democrat Party that I spoke with were very, very upset because they didn't get to cast their vote during their primaries. You know,
Oh yeah, no, they basically disenfranchised 14 million voters and thought that it would have absolutely no impact whatsoever. Where I've long said that if Trump won the primaries and all of a sudden the party had like stuck in Nikki Haley, I would have just stayed home. And it seems to me a lot of people did that. A lot of people split the ticket. A lot of people were very, very upset, particularly in the places that Republicans don't normally do well. We saw it here in the 5 boroughs in New York. We saw it in places like Atlanta and Savannah, a lot of the minor metros. What do you think that groundswell was in areas that, Republicans have written off for decades at this point?
Yeah, so that was a really big focus within our campaign, was different coalitions, specifically within our Black Americans, our Hispanic, and our Asian Pacific Islanders. There were so many times that we would reach out to certain voter blocks. We would hold events. We would have roundtables within these different communities because you're exactly right. They had been forgotten about by the GOP for some reason or another, which is incredibly sad. But they had been pandered to by the left. And then people within those communities were finally waking up saying, well, wait a minute. Like, I'm supposed to vote this way, but what have you done? And look where I am now. And it just came out in force.
It's so funny that you say that because earlier in the show, we played a clip of AOC talking about how America is done with fake politicians. And, it gives me a bit of an odd feeling when I have to say AOC's right. Oh, God, that didn't even taste good coming out of my mouth, but I think that's what it is. I think that a lot of the neighborhoods can sense fake people. And I'm trying to think about Mitt Romney going to the South Bronx, or Mitt Romney going to Stone Mountain in Atlanta, or going to real Vegas, not like the Strip, like actual, like the city of Las Vegas. He would never do that. Meanwhile, Donald Trump thrives there. And I think that is the coalition we've got to have moving forward, particularly in a state like Georgia, to be able to flip some of these Senate seats that I know you have coming up. Raphael Warnock, who likes to run people over with his car, and John Ossoff, who has never shaved. He's like 9 years old.
Get the off my ballot.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So there's a lot of people watching this right now who they want to get involved, but they feel like they're just one person. Obviously, you were a Trump Force captain. You've built the grassroots movement as we have here in New York. You did it in Georgia. What would you say to people who, they feel like they're alone? What would be the first step to getting involved somewhere?
Oh my gosh, I love this. This is my favorite question. So, little backstory. I've been a part of the Georgia Republican Party and the Gwinnett GOP since I was 18. That is where your change will happen. That is really where you can get your feet wet. That's where you learn all the ins and outs of your local party, local politics. You'll be able to vet candidates on a more, county, state, local level, which is fantastic. Bring people with you. That is what I've been using my platform for now, 5 years, is to try to educate people to get involved within their local party. Find something within that party, find a committee that you're interested in, and be involved. Pay your $40 dues. Go to your breakfast once a month. They will normally highlight a candidate that, is either in office or running for office. Have conversations with that person. If you are interested in running for a committee seat within your GOP, your county GOP, do it. That's where the real change happens. Get involved with your school boards. You don't have to necessarily have a kid to be involved in your school boards. It could be even, I know this is going to sound so silly, but our HOAs are the most democratic run organizations ever. Get on your HOA, turn some tables. And I hate saying this too, Kev, but AOC is right. America, and I love how President Trump put this, but it was a mandate from the American people. That is why President Trump not only won the Electoral College, but the popular vote. Every person matters. Every, two-party systems work, and they worked in favor for President Trump. We had independents, we had Democrats, all casting their vote for President Trump. But you can also do that within your party because President Trump needs backup. So, as long as divisiveness never wins hearts and minds, and it works that way within your GOP too, don't go in there like a raging bull. Get to know the people's on your committees, your chairs, volunteer time to help, then become a part of your committees. Work your way up. If it's not something you want to do, but you have someone in mind that could, that is wanting to run for office, that is America First, bring them in, get them involved. But that's a way for you to vet your candidates, be involved within your community, because right now is the perfect time for county parties to activate. There is so much excitement within the conservative party, within our MAGA movement. You don't need to lose momentum.
Absolutely.
I'm running for Gwinnett County Chair.
Well,
who knew?
For
But
anybody in Gwinnett,
so
I was going to say, for anybody in Gwinnett County, you better get out there and help my friend win, because we need more people in positions of leadership down in some of our counties. It's so funny that you talk about don't go into your party divisive like that. That is advice I probably should have taken and didn't, because anybody who knows locally knows exactly what I'm talking about. But that's awesome. You're running for Gwinnett County Chair. That's fantastic. So we got a couple minutes left. I want to talk about. I want to talk about appointments. Obviously, the earth broke yesterday with the appointment of Matt Gaetz to Attorney General. But so far, what has been your favorite appointment? Other than mine is obviously Matt Gaetz. I consider Matt a friend, and I'm super excited to have him there. But what has been your favorite of all of them so far?
Oh my gosh, this is so tough. You and I had this conversation yesterday, Kev, right? So our friends, we're seeing our friends being elevated. I think it probably, this one's so tough. I am really, really happy with the appointment of Susie Wiles as Chief of Staff. She ran this latest campaign like a boss. And I'm just so proud to see her elevated. That's where she needs to be. So I love that one. Of course, Maddie Gaetz, AG, that made my heart explode. I think I just literally screamed oh my gosh, and immediately texted him and Ginger. I love, Doge. I love Vivek and Elon. That is so incredibly, I love it. This campaign, this administration coming up is completely different than what we saw during his first term in 2016. And these are loyalists to President Trump. And when I mentioned the mandate earlier about President Trump, I believe it's also not just a mandate for him, but for his appointees, because now we are watching. We are going to hold them to task. They are already on notice that we are watching, we are paying attention, and if you do not do right by we the people, you will be replaced.
It's so great. It's so great that there's so many of us coming together, both from all over the country, from X, from Twitter, that are letting these people know that. I mean, I put it out last night. If you're a Republican and you vote against Matt Gaetz, I will raise up an army against you, and I don't care if I have to go to Bangor, Maine, or Anchorage, Alaska. I'd rather not go to Alaska. I'd rather go to Maine, but Alaska's just really far away. But I'd rather go to Maine. But there will be people who will raise up an army against you, because the appointees that Donald Trump is putting forward are the exact people. Basically, all the right people hate these picks. Earlier in the show, we played John Bolton talking about how Pete Hegseth and Matt Gaetz were the two worst political appointees ever. And I'm like, oh, that's all I need to know, that John Bolton hates it, so I love it.
Right.
He's the biggest neocon, warmonger, war criminal in American history. Well, maybe not in American history. There's always Henry Kissinger. But, in the recent memory, if John Bolton, if you're out to dinner and John Bolton goes, the steak is great here, I'm going to order the chicken, because I'm going to do the opposite of what he's doing.
Right. No, it's in seeing this outrage. That is a perfect visual. The left, your rhinos, your elitist class, they are scared to death because they know that they're done. Their time is done. This is President Trump's party. This is our party. We are done with woke in our military. We are done with putting other countries before our own. We are done having our jobs taken away from us, having our borders open to where family members, loved one, people that we know are being murdered. We are done with having our veterans kicked out of their homes in order to house illegal aliens, migrants. We are done with it. We are done with our taxpayer money going to fund things that have nothing to do to benefit the American people.
Oh yeah, I have long said it. I miss the anti-war left. I don't know where they are, what hole they fell into. But I remember growing up, during the Obama years and during the Bush years, and being very skeptical of the war in Iraq and the war in Afghanistan, particularly as it dragged on, and watching people on the left be very skeptical of it now, being like, no, we need to fund Ukraine for the rest of our lives. We need to fund every other country. And what I say to all my friends that are into the foreign war thing, I tell them, I go, look, if America falls, then who's going to come save Israel? Who's going to come save Taiwan? And right now, our house is on fire. We can't be putting out fires on the other side of town. And to me, look, we had terrible hurricanes in Florida, in Georgia, in North Carolina. And I just want to know, what did Vladimir Zelensky send us? What did Moldova, what did North Macedonia, NATO, what did NATO send us? Did they send us food? Did they send us water? Or is it that every time, not 80% of the time, not 90%, every time something happens around the world, it's like the entire UN goes, America, you got this?
Right.
And I'm done with that. I'm done with it. Let Germany take the mantle for a little bit. They're doing just fine. It is. I think that is the key component of the America First foreign policy moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. And you can tell there are certain countries now, because when America wins, this isn't just for us. This is a worldwide phenomenon that you're seeing with all of these patriots coming from all of these different countries. But when America wins, Canada is so excited. They have been dealing with sometimes even worse than we have. You have base Europe, base Guam, but still, base Greece. They are all coming out. They are so excited because we are back in control. We will be respected. And that will flow to these other countries to help themselves, right? But we've got to take care of America first, and that is what we're doing. And it doesn't just benefit us, and it doesn't have to be monetary.
Absolutely. And you know what? So for everyone watching from Quebec, just know we will make you the 51st state, and you will be based. Just please stop speaking French. I can't do that. It's just
It's so pretty, but I don't.
I won't. I won't do it.
I barely. I mean, I speak and hear Southern. So any other like French, I'm like, huh?
Yeah,
What?
it's not.
But
It's just not going to happen. So just leave the French up there, and then you can come on down here. Hell, maybe we'll make you part of another state, and then we can just flip that one. It'll work out well. Well, I don't know where it is on the map, but we'll add like 10 electoral votes to Michigan or something, and we'll never lose again.
that's fine.
So of all the predictions that went out before, everyone, the 7 swing states, what was the one that you thought was the most surprising? That because I didn't have Michigan on my map. I had New Hampshire, which we'll work. I'll work on that later. But which one of those was the biggest surprise to you? You think?
Oh gosh. Well, I have one for both. So my sleeper state was New York, and I knew that that was a long shot, but man, they came out. I was very, very, very proud of that turnout, but it didn't go red. I would say probably, oh my gosh, all of them. But probably Pennsylvania. Well, you know what? I just lied to you. I will say my own home state of Georgia. I did not have any sort of barometer to tell me how Trump Force 47, how my ground game was being received. And you don't know that. You work your tail off for 8 months, and you got to wait for early voting to see, how it was, if it was effective.
Yeah.
So that first day of early voting, I was just like, yo.
It was out of
And then I
control.
start running numbers. And because I am a data geek, right? So I start running numbers and looking at percentages and comparing election years and looking at where they came from. And I'm like, yo, we may just do this.
We might do this.
So when they called Georgia for Trump, I literally I was standing up. I was still in the tabulation center in Gwinnett. I stayed there until 3 a.m. Because for some reason, Gwinnett was up to its shenanigans. And so nothing had been uploaded even to the Gwinnett website nor the Secretary of State. So I staged a sit-in. I wasn't leaving.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to know that Team Trump was there and nothing's going to happen on my watch. But when they called Georgia for Trump, I just literally I fell and I put my head down and my arms on my knees and just started crying. I was like, I can't believe this. We flipped an entire state in 4 years.
It was the culmination of 4 years for so many people. It was the culmination of 4 years worth of work, and seeing President Trump come within 11 in New York. I mean, that was a win for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I told everybody, I'm like, I want to make something very clear here. If Donald Trump wins New York, I will be uncontrollable.
Yeah.
There will be no, like, nothing will. I told somebody from the New York Post, I was like, look, if Trump wins New York, you better leave that camera down, because there's going to be some shirtless Cotton Eye Joe going on top of a bar somewhere.
You didn't tell me that.
I was like, I'm gonna run down.
I'm on my way.
I'm gonna run down Fifth Avenue just about naked, carrying a Trump flag if he wins New York. But it was like, so yeah, I'll take 11 points. We'll see. Plus, it gives us a goal moving forward. We were talking about before John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, how they got to be shitting bricks, knowing that now the infrastructure is in place to remove them moving forward. And with the early votes and with the showing in some of the cities, look, I think that some of these red state Democrats are going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yes, and with the data that we now have post-election, we know where those weak spots were. So we know where we really, really, really need to campaign and hit it harder coming midterms. And everyone is ready for that. So another way to get involved is if you have someone running for a seat on a federal level, state level, volunteer your time, knock doors for them, make phone calls, do something in the office, but volunteer your time and efforts because, like I said earlier, we need backup in certain areas. And now we know where those areas are. So that's the next puzzle piece. That's the next hurdle.
Absolutely. Tiffany Savage, the real politically savvy. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. She's so close to 100,000 Twitter followers that it's bothering the hell out of both of us. So, guys, give her a follow. All of her links are going to be below the video. And somebody told me to say this to you because I know you're a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. And I don't know anything about college football. So they told me to say Roll Tide. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that means.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Who is that? Or do they follow me? I'm gonna unfollow. Whatever.
Well,
no dogs.
Fab, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All righty, guys, we will be right back.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, so great to be joined by my good friend, the real politically savvy. Make sure you guys go give her a follow over at Patriot_savvy over on X. Now, she's like 2,000 away from 100,000, and that's bothering everybody. That's bothering literally everybody. So get her to 100,000. It's a nice round number. You know, I don't like that stuff. I don't like unround numbers. So, guys, give her a follow over there as we keep kicking ass and taking names here on Loud Majority Live. We will be right back.
The biggest benefit, honestly, has been with my skin. Skin was more hydrated, more radiant.
This is the best superfood that you could take.
It has all the essential nutrients you need for your skin, your gut, energy, focus, mood, performance.
My hair has gotten so much thicker ever since taking this.
I used to have a probiotic, a green juice that replaced it all with this Armra Colostrum. It is amazing.
You gotta take it.
If you want to try it, try armra.com.
Guys, start feeling better today with the superfood formula over at tryarmra.com/LFATV. That's tryarmra.com/LFATV, guys. Well, come on. You're not getting the right nutrients. Let's be honest here. You're not getting it, but you will if you go to Armra Colostrum over at tryarmra.com/LFATV. So, what's going on, live chat? Guys? Hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. Share it out all over the place. Let's see if we can get to 350 by the end of the show. I think we can do it. How's everybody doing today? In just a minute, we are going to make fun of Whoopi Goldberg for being a racist, which is not hard to do. By the way, she still looks like Predator. Yeah, I said it again. I'll say it again. I'll say it all day long. Arnold, come get her. What's happening? Live chat. How are we? Lucy, how are you? Sassy lady, how are you? Bad Moon, what's happening? Guys, make sure if you're watching on Facebook, do hit that @ button at all of your followers so that everyone else can see this phenomenal show as well. If you're watching on X, I don't know what you call it anymore. Is it a retweet? Repost this. Let's go, Masshole Patriot. How are you? Mr. Shy, hello from New York City. Hello from just east of New York City. Mike Stetson, Kev, what's going on with the rally in Suffolk? Great question. Glad you asked. Here is the rally in Suffolk this Saturday, 12 noon at the Ronkonkoma train station. We're going to be hanging out there for a couple of hours and then heading out to the Douglaston Shopping Center. We did the same route a couple of weeks ago, and it was absolutely phenomenal. There you go, Mike Stetson. There it is. It is on the Facebook page. It's on all the pages. Please do share that out so we can make this as big as humanly possible. Kate, yes, we will chat. We will absolutely chat. So Whoopi Goldberg is dumb and says that if you have relatives who voted differently than you, maybe you should avoid Thanksgiving with them. I agree. I agree with Whoopi Goldberg. If you are so petty and so petulant that you can't sit across the table from one of your relatives and share the cranberry sauce because you voted differently, then maybe, you know what, maybe you should stay home, liberals.
Children, would you, if it meant not seeing your
I
children?
appreciate the voters, but I will say, somebody who tells me that my child is wrong because of how he or she feels, that tells me that they shouldn't be allowed to be who they are with my permission, I have to question it. I don't want to put my kid in that position.
Exactly.
I don't want to put my gay child in a position where she has to sit with someone who doesn't understand her and feels like it's okay to just blurt all that out. That's just me. But I feel like that with mixed families, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain things where you don't have to put your family in the middle of it. You can have dinner at another point, but it might not be the time to gather because you know there's going to be some tension. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not tense. My daughter's not gay. I just want to say that so that my daughter doesn't say, Ma, why are you spreading rumors about me again? We'll be right back.
Of course, Whoopi Goldberg can't get through a sentence without bringing up race because she's a racist. She can't get through a sentence without bringing up race because she's a genuinely awful person. But I'll tell you what's not awful, guys. Heading over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA TV related, guys. Check out the LFA TV store. And while you're there, consider becoming a monthly donor over to LFA TV. That's the best way to help out this network so we can keep bringing you guys the on-the-ground content you want. We got a lot of big stuff coming up, guys. We got the inauguration. We got Turning Point USA, AmFest in the desert in Arizona. Giddy up. Let's go. Giddy up, let's go. We can't do it without your help. So head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. So I got two more stories that I want to get to. Both are ridiculous, but for very different reasons. Both are ridiculous for very different reasons. I'm going to read you a headline right now. I'm going to read you a headline right now that I never thought I'd say out loud. A sentence that, quite frankly, shocked me to my core when I read it. Are you guys ready for this? Let's see. Let's bring this down a little bit. Seattle lesbian with trans lover smiled after allegedly killing her father with a pickaxe during an election night rampage. Yep, I'll say it again. A Seattle lesbian with a trans lover smiled after allegedly killing her father with a pickaxe during an election night rampage. I've got to say, doesn't sound very ladylike to me. Seattle police have said that Corey Burke, 33, confessed to killing her father with a pickaxe during an election night rampage at their South Seattle home. Officers found Burke clapping and smiling as she was drenched in her father's blood, telling police that the butchery was an act of liberation. Court documents state that Burke allegedly straggled a bit and hacked her father, Timothy Burke, to death with a pickaxe at about 8 p.m. on November 5th. She then sat down next to her father and watched him die. Burke says that Burke told the police that the killing had to happen today, saying she carried out the slaying to help people change their attachment to their parents. Well, that's one way to get it done. Burke has been arrested on first-degree murder charges, and she's being held on $2 million bail. Why did she get a bail? I don't know. Burke is a lesbian. You ready for this? Burke is a lesbian space rocket operator, Burke is a lesbian space rocket program manager for Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin, according to her LinkedIn page. Public records show she's married to a prominent transgender author, a biological male who is the editor of the trans magazine Them. Wow. I tell you what, I cannot wait for the ID channel true crime murder about this one. That's going to be utterly hilarious. The accused butcher was apparently enraged about the election and snapped after learning that Trump would defeat Kamala Harris, per the New York Post. Her father allegedly refused to turn off the lights, sparking the murderous rampage. Get a grip, people. Get a grip. With a pickaxe. Does not sound very ladylike to me. There is actually no evidence that her father even voted for Trump. She just couldn't stand the sight of it and killed who was ever sitting next to her. Reopen the asylums. Speaking of reopening the asylums, here's one person with an inflated sense of self-confidence that I almost can't even grasp. If I had Don Lemon's confidence, I could take over the world. But unfortunately, I am but a mere mortal like all of you. Don has left Twitter, and he has decided to inform you all of this in one of the most egotistical statements I think I've ever heard.
Hi, everyone. I have loved connecting with all of you on Twitter and then on X for all of these years. But it's time for me to leave the platform. I once believed that it was a place for honest debate and discussion, transparency and free speech. But I now feel it does not serve that purpose. In addition, starting this Friday, November 15th, X is implementing new terms of service, which, among other things, states that, quote, all disputes be brought exclusively in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas or state courts located in Tarrant County, Texas, end quote.
Don, it's a social media platform, not an airport. You don't have to tell us when you're leaving. You can just go. But nobody really cares. Let's be honest. Guys, Ryan Mata is coming up next. I will catch you guys back live tomorrow. Head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Check out all the goodies over there. Check out all the new merchandise. You guys are going to absolutely, absolutely love it. I promise you. And make sure you go follow Politically Savvy over on Twitter. Help get her to 100,000 followers. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Until tomorrow, stay loud.